Okay, we are recording. All right, we just had the murders of Rob Reiner and his wife on Sunday. Today is Wednesday, December 18th at 3:49 p.m. And we hear that the son Nick Reiner is in custody, and he didn't make it to his arraignment because he's still in the jail, and they're waiting for the medical clearance. And they showed his picture and or a drawing of him, and he's wearing a suicide gown. Well, if you want to know a little bit more about where he's at right now and what it's like in that jail, men say tell you because I've been there myself numerous times. And probably on a different video, I'll tell you why I was there all these different times. But let's just say I had a midlife crisis. That's beside the point. But I do know what it's like, and I do know what it's like to be considered a special person in there with, oh, you're gonna get special care. Yeah, don't believe that. So anyway, I've been there, like I said, a numerous amount of times, and so I'm gonna kind of give you a little bit of kind of a combined version of all the times that I've been there. So usually what happens is, well, back then I got arrested in Long Beach mostly because that's where I lived. One time I got arrested like in by the LA sheriffs, kind of like in the I'm not sure if it was LA. It was a part of LA that I think was unincorporated. So the sheriffs patrol that. Anyway, I got arrested by them and taken to that the jail down there in Linwood, and so the jails in Linwood and Long Beach, they will not take you if your case is kind of serious, right? So, so of course, and they also ask you if you're on any medications while you're in Long Beach. And I said yes. You do anything to think in my thinking at the time, I thought maybe there's something I can do to get released from all of this. So I thought, oh yes, I'm on medications. It's a very serious condition to have those meds. Thinking that, oh, oh really? That they might say, oh really? Well, you could go ahead and go. We don't have those meds. You'll be fine. No, it automatically they make you go to Men's Central Jail, downtown LA. Which I think there were a couple times I was arrested. I think I was arrested like 9 times in all. Or I had to go through the system 9 times. It was 5 arrests and then like that probation violation, the little not following the judge's orders. They take those very seriously. I was like, what? Anyway, so a couple times I got to stay down in Long Beach, which is preferred because it's they let you out faster, and you don't have to go up to LA for all that processing. And plus, when they let you out in LA, you're just in the middle of like downtown LA, nowhere to go, nowhere to pick you up unless you made a phone call. That I'll talk about a little bit later. Um, but yeah, so you're in the middle of LA, and if I'm let out in Long Beach, it was like 5 blocks from where I lived, so I could walk home. Now it turns out that it is near the train station in LA, so you could hop on the Amtrak with the Metro Link. But Long Beach didn't use that. Getting to Long Beach, you couldn't get there from here, you know. So, but when I lived in Orange County, I could hop on it and ride it down to Fullerton, and it was like $9. Anyway, so you get bussed up to downtown LA, and you get off the van or the bus. It's a full size bus. Oh, and on the bus, since I had special privileges, it's because I was gay. They put anyone gay like on the bus. You get in like these little cages in the front that seats one person. It's like maybe three on the left, three on the right, and then the back of the bus is where the benches are. You don't have to worry about wearing seatbelts on the bus apparently, but At least I don't think they were wearing them back there. They were. That's where all the cool kids sat in the back of the bus, and they were on the bench. And then the bus driver will play the music real loud, and they'll be like, "Hey, can you change the station?" And sometimes the bus driver does. Sometimes they don't. I was like, why can't I be with the cool kids? I didn't really quite fit in there in jail. Um, so you get off the bus and you're like, you're chained up, and so you're like walking in. And I noticed there was I wish I could remember the exact quote. I should have looked it up. There's a quote by George Orwell over like the the doorway. I was like, that's kind of an odd place to put a quote by George Orwell. Anyway, then you like go in and there's like this desk and like you have to sit there for a while where they I don't know if they count you or I don't know what they were doing. But actually one time I went during COVID and so we had to sit outside this desk. There's not that room to sit there, not much room, but you could squeeze in, but you're like this on the benches. And we all had to do a COVID test. And so we had to sit back there, like shoving the thing up our nose. So they had to do all of that, and then they let you in. That's like almost like the triage. So then they let you in to like the waiting room, and on your way in, you're gonna get like a burrito and a milk. And so, like, oh, okay, cool. You're not the burrito and the milk are not quite a nice consolation for the fact that you're in jail. I was not really concerned about my burrito and milk at that time. But once I got in, people were eyeing my burrito and milk and they wanted it. So it was pretty funny. So you get into the waiting room. It's like this long hallway. So they have these not really quadrants. They have these cubicles, not cubicles. It's like a big pod. It's a big pod. And there's like, the big concrete uh, bricks, the giant ones, industrial. They're like built up to about 4 feet high. So inside the quad, you'll have, and it's maybe 20 to 30 yards long, and it's maybe 15 yards wide, and they have like these long benches, and it's weird. There's like four different quads on the left, and it's weird. It's a curving hallway. I was like, why would they make the hallway curved? And on the right, you have like these windows, like the kind of window you might go up and buy your ticket at a train station, a window like that. And they're kind of placed sporadically. They don't use most of them. They only use a couple at the end. So anyway, when you're in these waiting rooms, you're gonna be in the waiting room kind of a long time, and you're hoping to get a place where you can lay down on the bench. And inside each pod, there's two toilets at the back, and they're kind of facing out. And there's like the little 4 foot wall that kind of divides you from the toilet. But there's really no privacy because everyone will see you walk in, and they'll see you sit down. I mean, no one's really interested because the dumps people take there are really smelly. You do not want to be near that toilet. And it's hard to find toilet paper because everyone is using a roll of toilet paper as their pillow. They're like, "Excuse me, can I get that toilet paper from you?" I held it until I found my own roll of toilet paper. Because once someone gets up, the toilet paper's gone. So anyway, now they have TVs, but sometimes all the TVs are broken. But one time when I was there, it was really interesting because they had this video on. It was like, "Oh hi, welcome to the Men's Central Jail" video, and it was like very perky, and it was like, "We hope you stay here." It was kind of like real cheesy, and like it was like they didn't. It wasn't directed to an audience that didn't want to be there. It was like, "Hi, welcome. We hope you can enjoy your stay here." I don't think they use those exact words, but it kind of implied that. And then it was like, if you don't understand this, you can ask any of the guards, and they'll be happy to help you. Help you. It's like, no, they won't. Zoom. They walk past as fast as possible. They don't want to take any questions. So it was kind of amusing. It would loop, and so I watched it a couple times. I wish I could remember more of what they said, but I remember it was funny. They weren't trying to be funny though, but it was. because of the way that they were acting like their audience, like I said, was interested. so so anyway, they finally call everybody in. It's like one foul swoop. They get everybody in. You got to get in line. Then they'll call your name, and they open up this other this the hallway continues, but it's on the other side of this the bars, the window. And the very last pod, it's weird. It's like enclosed pod, and it's a little bit nicer in there because it's enclosed with glass. So we go in there and but the only reason we're in there is because they want us to sit in a particular order. It's like we're lining up, and but rather than stand in line, they make us go to the bench, straddle the bench, and sit down, facing forward. And then the next person that's called sits right behind you, really close. Come on, scoot up, everyone, scoot up. And we're like all like practically humping the guy in front of us. And believes people ask, "Oh, did you get lucky?" No, it wasn't even on my mind. I was too traumatized about being there the whole time. I'm not thinking about, "Oh, he's hot." So anyway, when you get up to the window, that's when they ask you questions. Okay, and the window is like it comes up to here. So you're like, and the person is sitting there in a chair, and so they're like way up. So you're like, the counter is here, and you're looking in the window, and they're in a chair. So they're like asking you questions. Yes, no, yes, yes, I'm on meds. And then they're like, "Are you gay?" Yes. What'd you say? Gay. Are you gay, straight, or bisexual? Gay. Now, I learned that it was not good to say gay because what happens when you get inside the main room, we're not even at the main room yet. Okay, so if you say you're gay, you don't get a shower. You just go to another holding room, and like in about maybe 45 minutes to an hour, you'll eventually file into the main room. However, if you are straight, you get to go get a shower, and they leave you in there for like 45 minutes. And the showers are really, really hot. And it's the kind where you gotta hold the thing in order for the water to come out, and you can push it, and it'll last like 10 seconds. It'll be shh, and then it'll be like shut off. So you gotta push it again, and you gotta shower, and it'll shut off. But kind of it's like really, really hot, and it's very difficult to finish a shower in the first place because it's so hot. You got to keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. And I wasn't gonna shower at first, but they left us in there so long. I was like, oh, I might as well get up and shower because there was one good-looking guy, but I did not even want to peek. So anyway, they leave you in there like 45 minutes to an hour, and then you come out and you get ready to go into the main waiting room. And so, oh, and at those windows, that's where you tell them what your size is, and they take all your possessions, and they put them in a bag, and then you have to change your clothes, underwear and all. You have to wear jail issued underwear and jail issued socks. So, I had powder blue on. I didn't know that was the mark of a gay guy. How embarrassing! Everyone else had regular blue. That was me and a few other queers. None of them were as cute as I was, though. Anyway, so you go into like the main room, right? And like the first thing you have to do before you sit down anywhere is you have to have a chest X-ray, and you got to wait in line standing up. And the guy in there, he has all your names, so he'll call you at random. You never know if you're going to be next because it doesn't matter where you're standing in line. They just, okay, Hill, you're next. Come on. So you go in and you get your little chest X-ray. Okay, so one time, and then you get your first glimpse of this waiting room, right? So on the right, there's all these like little windows, but they're sit down desks. It's not like the train station. It's like a little, it's like at a bank. They're sitting down at the desk, but there's still like the thing in between you and them. And they have windows there. Sometimes they use them, sometimes they don't. It's weird. And then like the benches, it's almost like this whole office is like the shape of an octagon. So it's like there's benches like halfway around, and they're like movie theater seats. I was like, wow, these are more comfortable seats. So I was like, yes. And then they have TVs, like in your section of the gazebo. You know, they have the seats, and then the next seats are facing this way, and the next seats are that way. And so in each section, there's a different TV with something different showing. I'm like, oh, okay, that won't be so bad. Well, guess what? Anyone who's in the powder blues does not get to sit in that main room. They have to go around back to the G tank. Oh, you're in the G tank. Gee, I wonder what G stands for. Could it be homosexual? Almost. So when I'm standing there, one of the times I was standing there about to get my X-ray, okay, the octagon shaped big room, octagon shaped. So in the middle of this room, it's like almost like a gazebo. They have it kind of partially walled off, and it's still like octagon shaped. And at the center of the gazebo is like a desk. It's a counter, and it's like way up here. So if I'm standing there, the counter is like this, and then the sheriffs are on top of there, a couple of them, because they take your cuffs off while you're in there. So it has to be very well supervised. They take your cuffs off unless you say you're suicidal. That's another thing. Do never say in jail that you're suicidal. You think, oh, well, they're gonna come have to do something with me because I'm suicidal, right? I'm gonna have to like be whisked away, and they're gonna have to try to talk me out of my suicidal ideations, right? See, anything to get out of jail. You're thinking. And my mind wasn't clear because it was drug related and I was high. High when I went in. Um, so, uh, so yeah. Um, what I was saying was that suicidal, yes, because they will whip you into a suicide down real quick, and you'll be sitting locked up inside the little gazebo. They have like a few chairs, which the chairs are very comfortable. That's the advantage. However, they put those cuffs back on, and you're like, and then it's like you're attached to the thing on the floor right here. So you're in a slightly more comfortable chair. However, you're stuck there, and there's no TV in there, and the guards are right there. You're like sitting there. One time, I was so pissed off that I was like, okay, so it takes forever in that office because you have to wait for like several different things. You have to get the medical clearance, which includes like I don't know, take your height and weight, and ask you if you have any allergies. Are you on any meds? And then you got to see a psychologist, which those psychologists were really good in there. The first one told me he was the first one that told me meth is an antidepressant. No wonder you use it so much. I'm like, yeah, thank you very much. Tell that to my work. Tell that to my building. Tell that to my family. It's an antidepressant. Some people go with Prozac. I go with meth. It's much, much faster. And then another psychologist one time, she was like, ooh, meth is a very dangerous drug. And like she got out a pen and paper and she drew pictures of like how the meth will affect the brain and the various brain cells and of